So one of the things that I've noticed that is an issue for a lot of people, and it's always been an issue for myself as well, is people that don't believe you about the narcissist and the narcissist's behavior and what you've actually gone through and what you have to endure. And usually this is like the flying monkeys, other members of the family that you've been scapegoated to, or sort of mutual friends that are friends with the narcissist, but that you also know. People kind of like that usually are the people that you would like to explain, the truth to, as far as what's going on with the narcissist, what you have to deal with on a regular basis. And sometimes you try because you want help, really, right? Like you want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be acknowledged and validated for all the insane hell that you've had to go through and probably continue to have to go through. And you want some loving, some love and some care. And usually, I don't know, you may have tried this before. I've tried it a number of times with different people, and I've never had anyone that was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that." Like that sounds really hard and terrible. Like the only people that have ever said anything like that are people that have gone through it themselves. And that's really sort of the key of our discussion today, which is just, the truth is, as hard as it is, right? As hard as all of this is, people, they're not going to believe something they have no experience with. Like it's hard for even my brain, right? Just your brain to process narcissistic behavior, right? And how crazy it is and how insane it is, to the point where if you try to explain it to somebody, they're just not, if they have no idea what you're talking about, like experientially, they're just not going to have they're not going to know what to do. So what's the next? It's almost like a computer program, right? The brain comes across something it doesn't understand, like a computer. It goes to the next, program step, which is just denial, right? Like, oh, there must be something wrong with the person that's telling me this, right? So they flip it back on you and try to make you seem like the one with the problem, because the truth is they just don't know what else to say. It's easier for them to process that you're just messed up or wrong or mistaken. It's easier for them. And I know it sucks, right? Like, cause it's like you want to get out of this nightmare. It's like it's like a bad horror movie, right? Like you're in a nightmare, you're in an abusive situation. You're trying to, get help or just get someone to listen to you or care for you or help you get the hell out of there. And no one will even believe you. No one takes you seriously. I mean, for God's sakes, even the therapists I've seen that didn't know, I'd never met a therapist personally, right? I'm not saying they're not out there that had experience with narcissistic abuse. The one therapist I had that was like, yeah, your mom might have a personality disorder, but at the end of the day, you've got to take responsibility for yourself. And I'm like, well, isn't that what I'm doing here with you? Like, I don't understand. But so the truth is, she didn't know. She really didn't understand. Even at that level, a psychologist she didn't have experience with narcissistic abuse. They may have heard the terms, heard the words, the phrases, but they don't have any experience with themselves, even at that level. So this is why the people just don't believe you, right? It's almost like you're saying you just saw Bigfoot or something, or you just had an encounter with some aliens. It really is so alien to so many regular everyday people. They just can't believe it, and that's sort of a testament to how strong you are for having to go through something that the vast majority of the human race doesn't even know exists, right? Like you're going through something that most people don't even know it exists. You talk about a narcissist, they just think that's somebody with a overinflated ego on Instagram or something. They don't have any idea. What's interesting? Even the actual definition, like if you go online to WebMD or even the DSM itself, right? The definition of a narcissist or narcissistic personality disorder, what's written there, as far as I'm concerned, based on actually going through this stuff, even that doesn't even scratch the surface of what we're actually dealing with here. And I really think that even in the mental health field, those who do know about this stuff, they only know so much, right? Like it's because you just got to think again, like even for them, it's really difficult to nail these people down, the narcissists, right? Like to study them, or what are you going to do, right? Get them in a lab or something, or you have to see their behavior in action. You have to see it all, and then they'll just hide it and deny it and run away. So what are we supposed to do? So That's why people don't believe us, because they just don't have any experience with it, and it really sucks, and many of us feel alone as it is, but we really are alone. I mean, we're not alone now in that we kind of have each other, and we at least understand one another, what we've gone through and how extreme it is. But these people don't. It's almost like you're in another world. They can't help you. They don't even know what to say. They don't, you know what I mean? I mean, even if you came to one of your friends and was like, man, I'm getting physically abused or sexually abused, they'd have some understanding of that, right? Maybe they haven't gone through that, but at least there's some understanding of that out there. And they're like, oh my God, that's terrible. But with when you say narcissistic abuse, like I've said that to some people, and they just give you that look, like that glassy-eyed, empty stare, because the truth, and they don't even have the decency or the, I guess, I don't know, courage or whatever it is, to just say, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't have any idea, right? Like, I don't know what you mean. And it's just horrible. And instead of doing that, they'd rather just turn it around on you, like you're the problem or something. So that's what we're having to deal with. And the only people, unless we get this stuff like out there, like filming these people or recording them and getting it out somewhere to, the world or something. I mean, nobody's gonna. They don't know what to do. And I know it's really hard. It was hard for me. There's different family members that even to this day I wanted so bad to like just go tell them the truth. You know what I mean? Like just the whole story, and try to get my name back out of get my name back from being smeared by the narcissist, and just have some love. It's crazy. It's like, we are treated like such like absolute shit by these people. And it's crazy. Like, I'm not a bad person. You know what I mean? So I don't, it's crazy. It's like, I like to have conversations and stuff and have fun. And I like to joke around. That's just me. Like, that's my kind of like my spirit. I like to laugh and have a good time and take it easy. And, I don't like to fight with people all the time or yell or scream. And it's just crazy. Like, that's not what I want. I want a family. Like, I want a happy family. Unfortunately, I've had to walk away from all of them because they just, they don't even want to, even those people, the enablers can't seem to handle it. I mean, but I don't know. So people don't believe you about the narcissist, and as much as it sucks, you just got to realize that they just have absolutely no experience with it. You might as well be someone who's like seen Bigfoot in the woods, and you're trying to come back and tell people, and they're just they don't believe. You got to understand, like even with something like Bigfoot, people. It's just anything that's outside of the norm of like everyday life. It's going to be really hard for people to believe you. But don't feel bad. This is why you've got to learn how to validate yourself. Be around healthy people, but that might not be the easiest thing in the world, right? Like going back to the example with my therapist, it's like, yeah, she was a nice lady, but because she didn't have experience with the narcissistic abuse and stuff and CPTSD, the things she was saying to me in all reality were very invalidating, right? They were it was like I don't think she was trying to be, shame me in any way, but that's what it was. That's what it was doing, what she was doing, right? And what needed to happen was I needed to heal from narcissistic abuse. And, a big part of that is being seen and heard and acknowledged and loved, and sort of like just given a big hug, not trying to change anybody or anything, just hold the space with someone and say, I'm so sorry for all the pain that you've gone through and all the unbelievable hell. You didn't deserve any of it. So you can do that for yourself. People aren't going to believe you. I believe you. I know what you've gone through and how crazy and insane and more importantly, painful and damaging all that stuff is, narcissistic abuse and just the whole dynamic with all the other people involved, and and what it does to your mental health and your mindset, and it's just hell. So I believe you. There's other people who believe you, but this is why. Just try to understand that if people don't have any experience with this stuff, they're just not going to believe you. Thank God there's enough of us there's a community of us around the world that get it, because it's like just the fact that someone understands what we've been through is therapeutic for me. I can say that. So yeah, that's why people don't believe you about the narcissist. It's just outside of their personal experience, and frankly the experience of the majority of the world. And with that, we will conclude this video for today. If you're interested in learning more about narcissistic personality disorder, narcissistic abuse, or CPTSD, there are helpful links in the description below. If you're struggling with CPTSD and would like to heal and get your life back, Healing from CPTSD also has a course available that will help you to do that in a simple yet powerful way. All links are in the description below.